Hi, this is Dr. Max, and often I hear, help me with my marriage. So I decided to make some videos here. This is video 1 of 4, and of course I'm very happy to help you. You came to the right place, so let's get started. In this series of 4 short videos, I'm going to give you 4 very specific steps you can do. Now these steps can very quickly or even sometimes instantly change your marriage or relationship for the better. I'll show you 4 simple and powerful techniques you can use right away that I guarantee will make positive changes in your marriage. These 4 steps are all based on the very best of the marriage counseling techniques I've developed over the last 30 years of practice as a marriage counselor and psychologist. Now, these methods have helped thousands of people have happy marriages, even if they were headed to divorce court and had almost given up on each other. They aren't just something I made up or that happened to work in my own marriage. I mention that because there are many non-professionals out there who are selling advice, and many of them are just slick marketers who have copied and pasted relationship advice from here and there. The other situation may be that they've found something that worked in their own marriage and think they've found the holy grail of relationship happiness. Now, I'm happy for them, of course, but the difference between them and me is that I've worked with thousands of couples from all kinds of backgrounds, cultures, ethnicities, ages, and many other variables. I know what works because I tested it. Not because I knew it to begin with. No one really teaches you these things in psychologist school. But I learned over the years what works and what doesn't. Many of these guys and gals who are selling this relationship advice are very smart and persuasive, and their stuff sounds very good, but the difference is it's not really tested, proven, or real. And they're often just using sales techniques to sell you stuff and frankly don't care about you at all. Kind of makes me mad because I know what they're up to and I know they're scamming you. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get on to the methods. Another note. I use the term marriage here, but let me also say that these methods apply equally well whether you're married or not. So when I say marriage or married, that also includes other long-term relationships, okay? And when I talk about divorce, it could also be breaking up from a committed relationship. I just wanted to get that clear. Okay, on to the 4 steps. I call them awareness, attitude, action, and affirmation. Now you have to do those 4 steps in the right order. For example, if like most people, you try to go to step 3, that would be action, without doing step 1, it will never work. Now that's where most marriage advice and counseling fails. They try to take you directly to the action, to the do this and do that step before you're ready. Now believe me, it doesn't take much time to get ready if you do it right, but you do have to be ready. It's like skydiving. Now, sure, you could watch a YouTube video on packing a parachute and jumping out of a plane all on your own with no instruction or help if you could find someone to take you up there. The fact is, you wouldn't find anyone who would legally take you up in a plane where you could jump to your probable death. Pilots have to be prepared and know the value of proper and full preparation. It's the same with marriage change. You have to take a couple steps before you take action. Otherwise, the action won't work. It just won't work right and will probably do more harm than good. What happens in most relationships is that one person gets an idea of this is what we should do to make things better, and then charges in like a bull in a china closet with their intention to power their newfound awareness into what they think should happen. Now, if you've been on one end or the other of this situation, you know what happens. Nothing, or things get worse. Many people believe wrongly that if you just try a few things someone passed on to you as advice, it can make things better. It could be a relationship advice giver, could be a family member, could be a friend. Advice is something you can get just about anywhere. Like go away for a weekend, or set aside time to talk about your relationship, have more sex, say I love you more often. Find out their love language and speak to them in that language. Now, these are all great things, but if you're not in the proper frame of mind to go away for a weekend with someone who right now you don't like very much, then it's likely that at the end of the weekend you're going to like that person even less. Same with talking or having more sex or having to tell him or her I love you when it feels forced and fake and you aren't ready to do it, or being forced to say things in a certain way in her love language or some other approach. Believe me, if you're not already getting along very well, these things are going to make it all worse, not better. Now, how do I know? Remember, I've helped thousands of couples, and many of them were casualties from these kinds of relationship advice givers and their poorly timed and ill-conceived methods. So let's do things right, okay? Let's start with number 1 and then go on to 2, 3, and 4. Number 1 is awareness. This means really knowing where you are today and right now in your marriage or relationship. It's important to have a way of evaluating this that is not just based on your emotions in the moment. If you only base how you're doing in your marriage on right now's emotions, your evaluation of your marriage will probably be different every day. If you're lost in the forest, you don't use your emotions to help you get out. You use a compass, which tells you north, south, east, and west, or you follow the sun or a creek bed or what looks like a path. You use something to get yourself clear on where you are. You follow some guidance. Now, I'm going to tell you a little professional secret from marriage counseling. As a marriage counselor, I did what is perfectly acceptable and what all counselors do. I spent from 1 to 3 sessions really doing an evaluation of where the couple was before we moved on to the next steps, which I'll cover in the other videos of this series. Now, there's nothing wrong with that if you have enough money and time, but it's expensive and it can be done a lot faster. That's why I created the divorce test. This is the first step, and it's called awareness. It's a free test you can take, and I'll tell you where to go take it in just a minute. But first, I want to say that the other 3 steps are covered in videos 2, 3, and 4, so come back to watch those later, and I'll go over that. So here's the first thing. Go to easymarriagecounseling.com, and that's where you sign up to take the divorce test. Why do I ask you to sign up? So I can tell you about your scores and what they mean. I can't really do that before you take the test, can I? So on that page, easymarriagecounseling.com, you sign up with a name and email. You have to confirm your email, and then you're taken to the divorce test, where in just a few minutes, you'll be able to take an easy true-false test and immediately get your results. They're on the same page, so you'll immediately get those right after you've taken this short quiz. So that's the first step. Go do it now, and then we're going to talk again next time. Go to easymarriagecounseling.com, and I'll talk with you again next time, and we'll go over the other steps.